Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Saturday of our Bedtime Stories with Mr. Kelvin. Hi, it's Mr. Kelvin. Okay, so I know I'm not in the usual space that I usually am and such. I'm actually at Morgan Memorial Library. Right now, its doors are closed to the public to make way for our new library, the Downtown Suffolk Library. So we hope that you're able to visit it very soon because it would have just opened very soon. It's July, so it should already be open. But moving on. So, our first story for today, we are going to be reading No More Yawns, or No More Yawning, rather. This is by Peony Lewis, and the pictures are by Britta Grandstrom. Now, I know for a fact that we've read a few bedtime stories at this point, and when you're tired, we do have a tendency to yawn. Yes, indeed. But no more yawning. I wonder what this might be about. But before we get into our story, let's make sure that you have, your blanket, getting cozy, either in bed or next to something very comfortable. Maybe having a stuffed animal. I wish I had a stuffed animal with me today. Unfortunately, I don't because I am where I am at the moment. But get cozy. You get cozy with a stuffed animal for me. I appreciate you for doing that, all right? We'll go ahead and get to reading. Okay. All right. I hope you all can see. Yes, indeed. Hello, phone. The phone is my stuffed animal today. Don't quote me on that. All right. Here we go. I'm Florence. This is my drawing of Arnold. Um, Let me adjust myself. Hey, there we go. That's better. Our drawing of Arnold in a banana bed. I'm getting him into a sleepy mood because it's 7 o'clock and time for bed. That is right. 7 o'clock is a pretty good time for going to bed. Mom kisses me goodnight and dims my light. I yawn a big, big yawn and shut my eyes. That's exactly right. Yes, indeed. This is our little book right here, the bananas. I yawn again. This time I yawn so big, it's bigger than a banana. Can you yawn a big yawn? Make sure you cover your mouth when you do it, unlike what I did the first time. Oh, my apologies. I actually turned into a real yawn. We're trying to sleep. We really are. But we can't. The trouble is, Mom forgot to give Arnold a good night kiss. I think Arnold deserves a good night kiss. Yeah. We find Mom. Mom kisses Arnold. I kiss Mom. Arnold wants another kiss. No more kissing, no more yawning, Mom says. It's time for sleep. Right to bed then. We're trying to sleep. We really are. But Arnold's feeling lonely. So I sing him a lullaby about a twinkling star. Do you know what that song might be? It might go something like Twinkle, twinkle, little star. But I'll stop right there. Yes. Arnold likes it so much I have to sing it 5 times. I wonder if it's because Arnold likes it, or maybe our little one is delaying sleep. Who knows? Then I have to draw him a picture of a shiny, bright star. And it's a beautiful picture. It's a beautiful picture of a shiny star. But did we really have to before the bed? Maybe. It's important. All the singing makes me thirsty, so I go to find Mom. Mom gives me a cup of water, and I only spill a bit when I yawn. A yawn bigger than Arnold's smile. Can you yawn with me? Here we go. Mom says, no more singing, no more yawning. It's time for sleep. You gotta listen to Mom. I think it's about time. We're trying to sleep. We really are. But Arnold wants a story. He says it has to be about a monkey and a giant banana tree. It's very specific. I hunt through all my books, but I can't find that story. So I make it up. Though telling a story isn't easy when you can't stop yawning. Sure, you'd be interrupting yourself every time with a yawn. Arnold wants pictures too, so I have to start drawing. I mean, she has to start drawing. What kind of bedtime story is it if there's no pictures? Come on, this is it. Oops. Mom sees my bedroom light. I jump into bed and yawn a yawn bigger than Arnold's tummy. Do you think it's a real yawn? It might be. Let's yawn together just in case. You think that was the type of yawn that she did? Mom frowns at all the books and says, "No more stories. No more yawning. It's time for sleep." But we're trying to sleep. We really are. Mom tells me I'll get sleepy if I count imaginary sheep jumping over a gate. Have you ever imagined sheep jumping over a gate before? Have your parents or guardians ever suggested that to you if you're ever having trouble sleeping? It's a pretty fun thing. Just closing your eyes and imagining a sheep. One, two. Ooh, you see, that's how fast it can work. So I try counting sheep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 5. I've got it wrong. Sometimes I play with cutout numbers, so tonight I make cutout sheep. I number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's after 7? Arnold thinks it's 9. It's hard to count sheep when you can't stop yawning. 9, 10, 11, 12. What's after 12? I don't know. Arnold doesn't know. We have to ask Mom. I mean, if you don't know what comes after another number, we've got to ask Mom, right? Right, you get it. You get it. I yawn, a yawn, bigger than Arnold's tail, to show Mom that we're trying to sleep. We really are. It's not our fault numbers are so hard. Mom groans and says, "No more counting, no more drawing, no more cutting, no more yawning. It's time to sleep." Gotta listen to Mom here. She tells me I'll get sleepy if I shut my eyes and if I think of everything that's yellow. And if I'm still not asleep, I can choose another color, then another. Now, that is a technique I've never thought of, but that's pretty cool. I shut my eyes tight. Sun, butter, my yellow chair, Grandpa's hat, sunflowers, buttercups, cheese, our car. What else is yellow? Bananas! And what have we seen all story? Drawing bananas. We're trying to sleep, we really are. But I can't think of anything else that's yellow. Arnold can't either. So you think about pink. I mean, look at all the different pink things, especially cotton candy. My curtains are very pink, and cotton candy, raspberry milkshakes, pink socks. What else? Are my big yawns pink? We're not sure. So I call out to ask Mom. Oh boy, here we go. Mom is mad. Uh-oh, mad. She says, "No more kissing, no more singing, no more stories, no more counting, no more drawing, no more cutting, no more colors, no more yawning. Go to sleep," says Mama. Look at Mama. She is serious right here. We're trying to sleep. We really are. But it's hard to sleep when you're sad. When you're sad? Mom says sorry for shouting and gives me a hug. And Arnold, too. I ask how she got to sleep when she was little. Mom thinks hard. Then she remembers. She'd just shut her eyes and make up a story in her head. Soon she'd be dreaming about fairies or digging up treasure. I tell Mom my dream story will be about exploring a jungle full of monkeys, which is pretty cool. Bananas, wild animals, will be also featured in the story. I yawn bigger than Arnold, and shut my eyes. Look. We were asleep. We really were. Totally, completely asleep. Then Mom woke us up with a noisy yawn as big as an elephant. Naughty, Mommy. I tell Mom, no more yawning. It's time you went to sleep. And I give her a kiss good night. And that is the end of our story of No More Yawning. Well done. Good job at listening. Now, I know for a fact that this little one had a lot of good points as to why she stayed awake. But try to let the yawns tell you what you have to do. Try to get some shut eye, okay? Close your eyes, count of the sheep jumping over the fence, or close your eyes and think of all the things that might start with your favorite color or are your favorite color. Another good one, most certainly, and this is something I did when I was growing up. I did close my eyes and I did think of different stories and like little, like I love playing video games. I was thinking about different characters and being in their world with my eyes closed. And before you know it, I was already asleep. So these are good things that we can try, all right? But we've got to read one more story. So I'll be right back. I've made sure to get it, all right? See you soon. Welcome back. And I made sure to get the book. I hope you're still cozy. I hope you're winding down and stuff like that. But our second and last story for this wonderful session is Dinosnores. This is by Kelly DiPucchio, and the pictures are by Ponder Gomber. All right, Gombo. Yeah. All right, but what do we see on the cover? We see a dino, and he's cuddling with a little stuffed dino. That's adorable. Let's read about Dinosnores. On a supercontinent. That's a very big piece of land. It's like the United States, but like triple that size. Many million years ago, dinosaurs prepared for sleep on cozy lava flows. They bathed and brushed and fluffed their ferns around the dino site, then laid their horns and spikes to rest and kissed their eggs good night. Reptilian birds and dragonflies drifted through the skies, while prehistoric crickets sang Jurassic lullabies. Yes, indeed. And if you don't know what a lullaby is a song that you sing to help yourself go to sleep. And look, there's our cricket. Creak, creak. Yes. Soon, the peaceful world was rocked, shaken to its shores. From snouts of sleeping dinosaurs boomed mammoth dino snores. Can you do a dino snore? I'll try one myself. Yeah, that's my dino snore. There were bronto booms, tricera cries, raptor rumbles, stego sighs, proto grunts, diplo hoots, allo snorts, and tyranno toots. While dinos slept, winged lizards leapt, and mammals ran to hide. Palm trees quivered, hot springs shivered, and bugs were petrified. Still, sleepy rumbling kept on coming from that dino course. Whistles, grunts, and snorts galore sprang from every source. Their nasal breeze stirred up the seas, and windstorms full of sand. That's a powerful snoring if it's causing a windstorm. Just saying. Swamps and rivers sloshed about, tossed creatures on the land. Okay, all right, these are some pretty powerful snores. They're making sea animals come on shore. That's wild. Boom, cry, rumble, sigh, grunt, hoot, snort, toot. That rumpus triggered tremors and a powerful earthquake. The shaking scared amphibians and drove them from the lake. It is shaking the water. It's making things. This is. I wonder what's going to happen in this book. Dino drools made swimming pools and gooey, slick mudslides. Drool is when you sleep and a little bit of spit just comes down your side of your mouth. That's what drool is. It's natural, it happens. Just want to let you know that their drool is causing rivers. Sharks and ancient giant squids surfed slimy spit riptides. Ugh. Do you know what these are in the background? I'll show you. Deep grumbles made rocks tumble, and loud Cretaceous booms. Chains of sleeping mountaintops awoke in fiery plumes, and these are called volcanoes. Volcanoes, that's right. Yes, indeed. Oh, this picture's cute. I hope you like this one. After several million nights like this, of snoring from the pit, the shaken supercontinent began to crack and split. Is this just telling us how the continents were made? And this is wild. Wait, what? The dinos waved goodbye to friends and drifted off to sea? As for the rest, you may have guessed. It's ancient history. Wow. That is the... Oh, and the plushie. And that is the end of our story. I believe I've read this once before, but never for bedtime stories. So I didn't remember how this one ended up. So I'm glad that you were here for this very surprising ending. Yes, indeed. But all that said, I hope your snores don't wake your parents up or your neighborhood or shake the ground that is underneath you. I hope your snores are peaceful and help you get some good sleep. Okay? But with that said, that is the end of our story time. I appreciate you all tuning in, and I look forward to the next time that we see each other. All right? But before we go, gotta say our goodbyes, okay? Here we go. So long, farewell, goodbye. So long, farewell, adios. So long, farewell, adieu. Hand on your heart or your chest. It was so fun to spend time with you, and I hope you have a good, wonderful, restful, peaceful sleep this evening. And I hope you're able to get some sweet dreams. All right? So have a good one, and we'll see you all next time, okay? Bye-bye!